Hi, welcome to Pyrography Made Easy. I'm Brenda. In this tutorial episode, I'm going to show you how to create these super smooth, almost glassy looking dual hearts that I did. Let's get burning. Begin by burning a thick, dark line along the outer edge of the hearts. Make sure to keep the pen tip in optimal position as you work. As you can see, both hearts have a little crescent moon shape in the upper left section. This is where the light reflection spot will be, so this needs to remain the palest area on the hearts. Rotate the board as needed while burning along the edges to ensure that the pen tip stays in optimal position. This will keep your edges crisp and clean. After the hearts are edged, burn dark pull-away strokes along the edges. Start each stroke on or very near the edge and pull it towards the center of the heart. Since we burned a thick dark line along the edges, no one will notice if you don't start the stroke exactly on the edge. That's why I said you could start the stroke on or near the edge. An important aspect to getting smooth results is to slightly overlap your burn strokes. Also, reburning over the strokes will help produce smoother results, and it will increase the darkness levels. Make sure to shorten your burn stroke when working above the crescent shapes. Also, rotate the board as needed while you work. I have found that it is easier to burn pull-away strokes when you're pulling the pen tip towards you versus pushing it away. And I think I have better control of the burn stroke when I'm pulling it towards myself. Remember to slightly overlap your burn strokes to get smoother results. Reburning over areas will also help produce smoother results as it hides or blends individual burn strokes. Fill in the area above the crescent shape. Do this by burning a medium brown line along the edge of the crescent and then using the burn stroke of your preference to fill in the area. I am using circular motion for this, but uniform strokes is also another burn method that would work well. Reburn as needed to get the color to a uniform medium brown hue. Use the shader of your choice to fill the hearts with uniform strokes. Uniform strokes are burn strokes burned so that the color remains constant throughout the entire burn stroke. Keep your hand at a constant speed and adjust the heat setting on your burner slightly until you achieve the perfect setting to get a uniform tan-colored burn stroke. Just like pull-away strokes, you will get smoother results by slightly overlapping your strokes and reburning over areas to remove signs of individual burn marks. I'm using a spot sanding pen to reduce the color on this dark blotch. Spot sanding pens are made out of fiberglass, and they're designed to remove rust from metal, so they're very abrasive. You can find them in numerous places online, including Amazon. If you don't have a spot sanding pen, you can use a piece of sandpaper or maybe even an ink pen eraser, depending on how dark the blotch is that you're trying to remove. Be careful when reburning over areas that you have erased. The wood has a tendency to darken up really fast in those spots, so I try to very lightly burn over them. Like most things in pyrography, it takes a bit of time to fill an area with smooth, uniform color. Sometimes it can be easier to burn with the grain. In the video, I have rotated the board so that I can pull the pen tip towards me as I burn uniform strokes with the grain lines. When you are trying to get really smooth burn results, I highly recommend pulling the pen tip towards you versus pushing it away. The reason is that you will have much better control of the pen tip when you are pulling versus pushing. Fill both hearts with a layer of uniform strokes burned to a tan color. The color doesn't have to be perfect right now, as we will reburn over the hearts to increase and smooth out the color. Burn along the lower edge of the crescent shape. Then use circular motion to darken up the area below it. Circular motion is just moving your hand in a round or circular fashion. I chose circular motion because it doesn't tend to produce hard lines. I like to use this burn stroke when I'm blending out color. Now I can tell that I must have erased over the area below the crescent because it got lighter in the video, but I didn't record this. You want the color to be a light brown hue. This area we're working on is a transition zone, so it separates the dark edges from the pale center, and we want it to be a gradual transition. Now we're going to burn another layer of uniform strokes over the hearts. Follow the same guidelines as mentioned before. Rotate the board to whatever direction makes it easiest for you to burn the uniform strokes. Again, use the shader of your choice for this. I often pick shaders based on the size of the area I'm working in. So in large areas, I will use my larger shaders because it cuts down on the burn time. The shader I just switched to is smaller, and it makes it easier to work around the crescent. Like before, I am using circular motion as I burn around the crescent. I'm darkening up the area around the crescent on the larger heart, and I'm also narrowing or thinning the crescent shape. When I resumed burning uniform strokes, I switched back to a larger shader. Now keep in mind that you can use one shader for the entire burning process. I only switched shaders because it made it easier to burn. So use the shader you have on hand or the one you're most comfortable with. It really doesn't matter. The last thing we need to do is fine-tune the area around the crescent. The area above it should be dark, and the crescent should have a hard or very defined edge to it. The lower edge of the crescent should be soft. To soften the edge, I'm lightly burning over the line using circular motion. Then, if needed, touching up any areas to darken and smooth out the color. I'm reburning below the crescent area to increase its color a little and to blend that color out. Now repeat the same basic process on the large heart's crescent. Again, the area above the crescent should be dark, and the upper edge of the crescent should have a crisp, very defined edge on it. Blend out the lower edge of the crescent by burning over it. As before, I'm using circular motion for this, but you can use any burn method that you prefer. That's it, we're all done. On my website, Pyrography Made Easy, I have a lot of free tutorials with free patterns that you can download and any reference materials that are needed. I'll put a link to my website in the description below. Well, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you next week.